Wow.
You know.
Being that we was over here, you know, down at the ocean, we always looked forward for being cowboys like paniolo, like Merton.
And I hear that all the time, like, you know.
That's our dream.
When the cowboys come down,
Yeah.
and everybody go home and practice being cowboy. So if you can tell us how that was.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You were just saying about the cow pen over here. This cow pen was over here from the olden days, from the old Polko Ranch, old timers, cowboys. They bring down the cattle, they put them in a pen, and there's two cowboys put the rope around the one cow and they bring them outside here, tie them to the schooner boat, take them out to the big boat, and they pick it up and put them on the boat. They used to ship it to Kaulave from here before, but that was before my time. That was my grandpa guy's time. And right above here, my mother-in-law them used to live right above that house there. We used to walk down this trail and come swimming. My first wife used to live there. My in-laws was the Aki Poipoi family, Cecilia Poipoi. My father-in-law is Charlie Aki. They used to live over there. And we used to come down the cow pen way back then in the early 60s, come swimming and play. Wendell used to play inside his cow pen over here, and Wendell had his big pen right about halfway up that hill over there when he was a small boy. But I know this place from way back then because working on the ranch, we used to come down the point right in the front of the church. I was the number 17 cowboy when I started to work on the ranch. 17 of us. We used to come down there, go drive cattle from here all the way up the ranch. But we drive them halfway, we let them rest overnight, and the next day we take the cattle all the way back home. It takes us about 2 or 3 days to get some of the cattle back home. What run away, then they became all wild. Then we got to go chase the wild cattle all over inside this place. One area right above the church used to be called Ahuhu. We used to go inside and chase. It used to be all thick with lantana and panini. Hard to drive them out, but we used to chase wild cattle over here. On the church, right above the church, right by the church, on that road over there, used to get a guy named David Lono used to live over there. I think you know the family. David Hono used to watch for us, the cattle, when they come down, what time they come down. The boys used to come early in the morning, go chase some wild cattle. Not every time, but sometimes. But we used to eat lunch right down there in the front of the church on horseback. Hardly any homes around here. Had the Dilima home. I forget some of them. Makua used to live around the church. David Lono, Tommy, Poipoi family, Jack, them used to live over there too. La Peru side used to be Uncle Willie Olsen, all them over there. Carter family used to own the house. Yeah. And then more over by Kanahana, Sonny Vic them used to live over there too, you know, but had hardly any homes here, you know, way back then. But I know from Calvary couple, all the way back through here was all open. We used to come down with the horses, and when we reach down, it's lunchtime, we got to eat lunch and then go back home and drive cattle all the way back up. Takes us almost all day sometimes. And it was back then, we had all old timers like Jim Hapakuka, Willie Kawai, Big Bill Waikolani, George Campbell, Willie Malia. I had a lot of old timers then, and I was one of the youngest. Me and my Ohana family, Andrew Kawai, Kimo Purdy. So I know all these places over here, but back then had hardly anybody over here. The Hawaiians used to go from house to house. When they get luau, the parties you start Friday and you don't go home till Sunday. So that's the old time guys. We used to go make parties for the church. Angus used to be with us, Uncle Les used to be with us, Morgie, Bobby Luai guys used to be with us. The Chang family used to be with us. I kind of know Planet, but some of the areas is still there, but there's a lot of changes now. Guys like these boats are not, wasn't around. Hardly anybody used to play over here. Only the kids from around this area used to be here. Now they get so much people. The hotels, it wasn't there. The ranch had on beach house down there next on that long sand beach right after the church. On a hill over there used to get the Ulpalco Ranch big beach house, right? Yeah, Baldwin House. It burned down somehow, but it was way back then. David Lono was the man over here before. He used to walk all over. He know all the beaches. He know where all the fish stay. And those days had a lot of fish over here. Nowadays, big change, I guess. Yeah.
You know, over here used to have one slaughterhouse, eh?
Further back.
Was there one slaughterhouse?
Further back, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I know when we were small kids, we come play. Had one concrete.
Slab.
Yeah. I believe that was, I never see, but that's what I heard.
Also had one slaughterhouse by the Delima place out there, on the flat, right where Justin stay. Used to be one slaughterhouse out there too.
Yeah.
So when the Cowboys would come and hook up the cattle to the boat, was there a pier over here back then, or was it gone already?
No, right in the front there used to be one small little bay. It's still there, and had a cement little slab on the right side. They used to launch the small kind boats out from there, but the cattle used to go in the water from here. I have some. I think I still have it. Some pictures. The Hawaiian cowboys come down here, take off their pants and use only shorts, and jump on a horse with a saddle, and they tie the cattle next to the horse and they pull them in the water and go on the side of the boat. There's a big boat, not a big boat, they call it at that time one schooner. And then on the side used to get tires. They attach them to the side of the boat. They tie the horns from the cattle to the tires so no bang the boat. They put 3 on one side and 3 on the other side, and then they take them out to the bigger boat. And somehow on the big boat had one little winch, like they pick them up and they put them on the boat. I don't know how many, but they used to put them in one square pen, and then they take them to Molokai. I mean, Kaulawe. And when the people on Kaulawe needed something from the ranch, on the top of that little hill on top of the island over there, they burn one fire. When they see the smoke, which means they want something from here. They watch when the boat comes in, they come down to see what they want. So that's how they signal the ranch that they need something. I don't know what they need, but I guess some more cattle, or they need food or something. So they burn the fire on the hill, so when they see the smoke, they come down. And again, that was beyond my time, but I work with the old guys and they tell me the stories and all that. Those old guys knew, they knew everything. They built stone walls themselves, they built houses themselves. They fixed tractors. To me was unreal, because how they knew how to fix the tractor? Who showed them how to fix the tractor? But they just knew what part to change. There was an older guy up at the ranch. He took off the tractor, all in parts. And I thought, oh my God, how he's going to put that back? He find the part, he ordered the part, he put them all back, tractor run. One man, he fixed all that. And they used to make stone walls. When I started back then, there was two guys, Dan Perry and Jim Hapakuka. I think you know who's that. Had all the stone walls up already on the ranch from the way before guys. But these two guys, they used to go repair walls and build walls. So the owner used to ask them, how much you guys used to get paid when you started to work over here on the ranch to build stone walls? He said, well, you go like this, from here to here we build a wall, we get paid 25 cents. I said, what? Some days, good days, we make 3 times or 4 times. That's only about 75 cents or $1 one day. And I said, where you get the stones from? Oh, you gotta go find the stone and you gotta go put them over here and you gotta build the stones. And a lot of these stone walls, if you look at it, if you drive by and you look at the old walls, how they move that big stones? Big stones. I said to them, who pushed the stones for you folks? He told me, this. They used to carry the stones or move the stones and build a stone wall. But this far, as far as your hand can go, if they build that up, I don't know how many feet high and how wide, they get 25 cents for doing that. Back then. And if you go in a winery, up at the ranch, there's that winery place. They get the old books over there, timesheet books for all the workers. They used to get paid $1 a day. When they get raised, they get $1.50 a day. That was way back then in the 30s and the 40s. They had small pay, but they survived. And they were smart to fix tools, fix anything, the hand saws. They know how to build something. Get stone walls. We get 2 areas on the ranch. They're still there yet, but they're not usable. It's back then in the Hawaiian homelands, up in Kaikinui. The stone wall is about 5 or 6 feet high. They are about 4 feet wide, and they get whole big area, get all set in pens. They drive the cattle into the stone wall. Back then, no more fence, no more wire. And the stone walls are still there, they don't fall down. I don't know how long ago they built it, but they were really, really good. And like I said, how they move the stones, I don't know how they move the stones, but they do move. And then out in the boonies, you cannot build big stone walls because you gotta go find full stones. They get stone walls, singles, stone after on top of each other. You can see right through the wall. Yeah. Because only single stones get. The stone walls are still there yet, most of them. Some of them had fall down because the goats jump over or the cows jump over, but they used to build stone wall, single file, that you can see through the stones.
Those are cowboy walls.
Cowboy walls from way back then. I don't know when, but those days I guess, was really hard for them, but they survived. They really survived.
You know, in the back of Uncle David Lono's place, used to have some pretty nice walls. I don't know if that was houses or for animals, but I remember playing in the back there, and there was a lot of them back there. I don't know if you guys would remember that. It was nice, big walls, right in the back, Uncle David's place.
The Hawaiians used to build, if they own their land, I guess, they build stone wall around the area where they live. I don't know how big. And their house, I think you all know, used to be a grass shack. We had one house down in the ranch area, way down at the beach, Mākena. They call that area Mākena. There was a grass shack, the last grass shack that they had on a ranch when I started. Half of the house is built by stone. On top of it, they put grass shack. I never did see because when I went start to work, all the grass shack had fallen down, but the stone walls was there. But they always had two. You sleep in one house, and then you used to get smooth stone. You walk from the big house to the small area house, all stone wall too. They eat away from where you sleep. They don't eat in the same place where you sleep, because I guess roaches or centipede or something, they eat away from where you sleep. And always get one big stone wall house and one small one. The big one they call hale moi, and the small one they call hale ai. You eat over there, but you go sleep over here. And they just knew what, down in the ranch area, they get one place they call Ahuhu. One family used to stay there. I don't know who it was. I think they told me one time when I was a young boy with them, the old folks were saying, that family even had cattle. Where they got the cattle, I don't know. They had their own brand for brandy cows. And they let go the cows. The cows used to run. I don't know how many cows they had, but they used to run all over the place. And in the afternoon, they had a fancy way to call the cows. The cows come back home and eat. And they had their own brand, and that brand, I found them in the old shack, all broken down area, stone wall. They had one single sewing machine on a wall. That brand was Arrow K brand, nice brand, Arrow K. I took that brand home, and I went go register the brand, and they couldn't find who used to be the owner of the brand. So I went asked them if I could register it under my brand, and they said yeah. So I gave that brand to my brother-in-law, so he used to use them, but I found them down in that old house down in Ahu. I don't know who used to own that house and where they used to work or what family was that. And it was right above Sonny Vic's place, more up. In one area they call Ahu. But Ahu is adjoined to one other land where Aruda used to live.
Kanahena.
Yeah, Kanahena. And that area, the Hawaiians used to call that area Mawai. Used to get underground water hole there, like. Even in La Perouse had one too. Uncle Willie know about that place too. The ranch used to run one pump, had water used to pump up and go to the water trough. It's still there, but nobody is using them, I guess.
It's like Uncle David Lono. He was on well too that he was living off. No plumbing. He would fill up gallons, the glass gallons. That was his water system.
The family who used to live around here, like the Dilimbers, Bobby Luai and the family, Wendell guy's family, all used to live over here. They know plenty about these areas. She know plenty, I know, and Ashford know plenty too. Really plenty.
Uncle David, he would know, we get parties, like Christmas and New Year's is back to back. So we always invite him. But we go fish. He said, not yet. Wait, he drink beer. He drink beer. One by all of a sudden, he would know, the tides, they're high. Now we go. You go with him, guarantee you get fish. You don't go low tide or what. And he go with the moon, all that kind. He saw Akamai all in his head. And only him know. That's how he know all the secret spots, because he know what time to go, yeah? And I used to go bag boy for him. The bag get heavy. Only from here to Pulai. And all walk. He no drive car. He walk. Everything is walk. Go David. Never have tabbies. Yeah,
No more
tough,
shoes.
Yeah. Before tough. Now, no can. But Uncle David was the man. It's coconut trees. We go cut all the coconut leaf for make our haleai for Christmas and New Year. One Christmas maybe kalu pig, New Year's lau lau. and just go back to back. Tutu Jack, yeah.
But I heard from the old guys all the stories what they used to do and all that. Had plenty of old guys up there, and they had way back then they had all the old stories, man. They know how to chase cattle. They know how to rope the cattle. They tie them to the tree. Next day we got to go get them and bring them out. Before my time, back then they had the ox. They rope the wild cattle, tie them to the tree. They go get the ox from the ranch stable, take the ox to the wild cattle, and they tie the wild cattle right on the horn to the ox, and they let them go. Next day, the ox reach back at the stable. He lead the wild cattle come back because the ox much stronger than the wild cattle, and the ox get big horns. And you don't need to go get the wild cattle and go bring them back at the ranch. The ox could bring them back. But again, that was before my time. It was way back then, I guess. But that's what they used to do. They had a certain way to tie the wild cattle to the tree. You cannot go into the amana of the tree. You got to go right around the tree. So when the cattle run around, it won't get stuck and hang up and die. They go right around. Then they tie the wild cattle to the ox, and the ox go bring them back to the stable. But when I started, you used to do that all yourself. You used to tie them up or hog tie them, leave them overnight, next day go get them and lead them down to the road where we can load them up on a truck. But by then, we had one army boom truck, so we can go lift them up with the boom and put them on a big truck to go up the ranch. Down here had the most wild kind cattle. They become wild because every time we drive, we cannot get them all. So some of them run hide in the bushes, and then you don't see them for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then after that, they see men, but they get all wild. They never did get out in the opening. But as years went by, the ranch got a little bit more smarter. They shut off the water, and they put a water trough more up, so the cattle gotta go to the water. They move up, and then get out in the open, so somehow we can rope them and go get them.
So by the time you started, then the ranch wasn't driving cattle down here?
You mean into that pen?
Into
No.
the pen or into Mākena already?
No. We let go the cattle from up, get about 3 sections before you reach down here. 1/3, maybe halfway, and then one more. And then we put the cattle up there. You see, you get summer herd and winter herd.
Okay.
Summertime down here is dry, okay? We put all the cattle mouth of the highway. You know that Ulpalco road going from Kula to Ulpalco to Kapo? Summertime when it's dry down here, we put the cattle above of the highway because up there get more grass than down here all dry. Wintertime, get rain every time. Down here is green, then we put the cattle all down. But we put them in one stage, next stage, and next stage. And the same thing when we want them to go home. When they get calves and all that, by the time they get 2 or 3 months old, it's time to brand them. We shut the water down here, open the gates to go up the next pasture. They move up one section. And if we shut the water, we open all the gates, they got to move up to the other pasture. So it's much easier for us to go home with them. They stay way up there. But again, not all go, and the ones that stay back, they become wild.
How about the trail systems? I know the cowboys used to travel, up and down.
Yeah, good question. You got to follow the old guys. And somehow, not all of them, but those old Hawaiians, they were taught by I guess the dad or the grandparents. Most of them don't talk too much, so you got to follow them. And my dad used to work for Rice Ranch, up in Kula. He was on Hawaiian, and he talked to me in Hawaiian when I was a small boy. And the most important thing he used to say, when you work with somebody, when you start to work with anybody, well, he talked in Hawaiian, you gotta pākawaha, shut him out, hana kalima, work with your hands. And then I used to say, why? They said, that's how they were taught. So no talk, watch them, how they work, and do what they do, then you can learn. So, you know, some guys ask why, how come, this and that. The old guys know like that. When I started here, I used to, sometimes I forget myself, I ask them, hey, why are you going to do this and all that? He tells, just watch, then you learn. If I'm going to do this right, you're going to do them right. And then when times are hard, like chasing these kind of wild cows and all that, boy, you got to know what you're doing. And you got to know how to tie them up and do what they do. So you got to watch them. And getting back to going through all these thick areas, those old guys know where all the trails is. When one old guy go there, they're going to take one young boy with them. When one old guy go on that trail, he's going to take one other boy go with him. The young guys, they follow the old guys. And then when they chase the wild cattle, they talk in Hawaiians, Mauka, Makai, Mane, and you got to understand them. And then when they start to yell, they say, wait. I say, wait. Yeah, wait. The cattle going to come right on the trail down here. So the older guys who really know how to rope, they only wait on the trail. The wild cattle run, then they chase them and go rope them. They just know what to do, where the cattle going to run, most of them. And then when they tie up one cattle, you got to hurry up and go back on the trail and go wait again. Some more other guys going to chase and go, they stay all over the place. So you got to, yeah, you got to know the trails. Like I said before, no had bulldozer to make the roads. So they get all trails and you got to know where you're going. Those old guys know where they was going. And after then, those days was only with horseback. We used to ride horses every day. Then came four-wheelers, okay? Then came helicopter. The ranch used to buy one helicopter. The helicopter used to do the job for us. Then we don't ride horse too much because the helicopter used to drive the cattle. We only stay by the pens and open the gate. Helicopter go chase all the cattle down and then go in a pen. So no had too much cowboy work. Only we work in a pen with the horses. But by then, the Hawaiians no like too much because they would rather go horseback than wait for the helicopter. Because you only work a few hours in the pen. And then when that, I think the helicopter came before the four-wheelers. I kind of forget what was. But it was horseback, helicopter, and four-wheelers. And then each cowboy had one four-wheeler to ride. They never liked that too much because some old guys no want to go ride that. They still had old army jeeps. We used to go check water with the army jeeps. Then as time went by, as years went by, the older guys, one passed away or they retired and all that. So came from 17 on down. When I retired in 2003, had only about 5 or 6 of us left. And that 5 or 6 guys had to do everything. Check water. We had kind of hard times, so what they did was 1 month your job is to go check water. And then they assigned different areas. You check this area, I check this area. This is your herd, you check the herd. Then they never know which cow belonged to where. So again, the ranch decided to put a brand, special kind brand on the cattle, on the side of the stomach. One alphabet, like E brand, stand up E, the E brand. They put them on. This E brand belong to you, Sam, in your area. So if E brand stay in that place, the fence is no good because it had crossed the fence. Then this other herd was T brand. We had E, T, O, had all kind of brands. So those cattle belong in certain kind area. And to find out if they are in the area, when we drive that herd, if we get 400 cows, we count them as they go in a pen. We know how many shot. And then the guy got to go back a day after or so, go check if there's any balance left. But it was, as years went by, everything can change and they do it more modern way.
So within Ulupalakua Ranch, there were several brands.
Yeah,
Just to
herd brand.
Herds.
Yeah, the different kind of herds. But the ranch brand,
Yeah.
it's an upside down horseshoe. You know one horseshoe brand? The
That was the regular.
brand on the leg, on the left side of the leg. One horseshoe brand, that's Ulupalakua Ranch brand. And above of that brand, you used to get one number brand, year brand. Like if it was born in 1975, from January to June, they put 1, 2. He born the first half of the year of 72, for example. So go and get 2, 7, and then the horseshoe brand. So you know how old is that cow. And then for the second half of the year, it's going to be 2, 7. 1 is the first half of the year, 2 is the second half of the year. So we can tell when they were born, more or less. And anything over 5 or 6 years old, it's time to slaughter. We go through the herd and we choose the older ones, and we replace the cows with the younger ones, and the older cows go to slaughter. And then they preg check the cows to see if they get babies inside or not. And the one that don't have, and they're kind of old, they cut the tail, so you know that they gotta go slaughterhouse. So they put all those cut-tail cows in one certain area to make them grass-fat, then they can go slaughter. Because you don't want to slaughter one skinny cow.
Right.
So you make them stay in one certain area, grass-fat. And the ones that are not so good, they make hot dog. I don't know if you guys remember down Kaului had this hot dog place called Akahi.
Is it the red hot dog?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So those,
It's the best.
Those-
no, those are Ulupalakua Ranch
yeah.
hot dogs?
Yeah, but now we don't have that cold storage. But it used to be down there, the cold storage. Every week we used to slaughter up at the ranch. We used to have our own slaughterhouse. And then, like I say, the old cows, they send them down and they grind them up to make hot dogs. If you guys remember back then, had that Akahi hot dog us from the ranch there,
The old cows.
the old cows. And then the good ones, then as years went by, we had our own feedlot. We used to feed the cattle, import all the feed from up Oakland, California. And then we used to feed the cattle in our own feedlot. We had 6 or 7 different pens up at the ranch. Every month we put 100 in this pen, or 75 head in this pen. Next month we put in that pen. By the time you get to the 3rd month, beginning of the 4th month, this first pen is ready to slaughter. It takes about 100 days to 115 days to make them fat.
Yeah.
And then they are ready to slaughter. So every week we slaughter about 20 something. By the time come the end of the month, this pen is all empty. The next pen going to be ready. So it takes about 100 days to 114 days for one pen to get all ready to slaughter. They had their own slaughterhouse too.
Where was that? The slaughterhouse?
We,
Up at Ulupalakua?
yeah, right in Ulupalakua Ranch.
Was that above, below where is now the winery? In that area?
No, when you're entering the ranch, it's on the right. The slaughterhouse is still up yet, but it's on house now. We fix them all up. They've been shut down the slaughterhouse years ago because the federal inspector was so strict that everything had to be stainless steel inside us, all. So the ranch thought it going to cost too much to repair all that up and get them up to par. So they've been shut down that slaughterhouse. Then we should send all our cows to Decoit slaughterhouse in Makua. That's where they go to right now.
So when you're going into Ulupalakua,
Right as you're entering the ranch, you look down on the right side, kind of down, but you can see them from the road, one big green building. That used to be the slaughterhouse. My uncle Joe Swift used to be in charge of that slaughterhouse. Every week we used to slaughter, every Tuesday we used to slaughter. About 20 something head every week. And then again, as years went by, they figured out the cost of the feed to import them in was too much. They make money, but I guess not enough to pay expenses. So they've been, and then the inspectors, when the inspector slaughterhouse had to be up to par, they stopped the slaughterhouse, we stopped the feedlot. No, they stopped the slaughterhouse, but we still was feeding the cows, so we sent them down to Nobriga. Nobriga's feed yard.
down by Waikapu.
Right. Nobrigas make them fat for us, and then they send them to Decoit and slaughter for us. That was kind of back years ago. Now they get on 5 ranch hui. They call that Maui Factors or something.
Cattle company.
Maui Cattle Company.
Yeah.
They get 5 ranches involved. You send so many head to them, they feed them, and then they slaughter them. Then you get your share. I think it's Hana Ranch, Ulpalko, Kaupo,
Body no breed.
Halekala, and Body Nobriga. I think it was 5 of the hui get together. So you don't spend too much. You only, the cows that you want to go make them fat goes to Nobriga. He feed them. You pay him for the amount of weight that they gain. If they went in at 600 pounds, in 3 or 4 months' time, if they gain 1,000 pounds, you pay them for 400 pounds, how much it cost them to feed. So Upalco Ranch now had stopped that feeding, and it goes out now.
I didn't know Maui Cattle Company was a hui of ranches.
Yeah.
And it's all grass fed now. They don't.
Now
they go away
Nobriga
from the feedlot.
had slowed down. Eh?
Yeah. Organic. Yeah. Grass fed now. Yeah.
You can tell between grass-fed and feedlot kind of feeding. The fat from the grass fat is yellow. You know the.
Yeah, yeah.
If you look at a piece of steak, get fat on top. If it's real yellow, it's from grass-fed. If it's all white, it's from the feed.
Grainy.
So if I go to Safeway and it says grass-fed but it's white, I can be like,
Yeah.
this not grass-fed.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
Thank you for
It's
this.
better
Yeah.
to make yellow fat for the stew, yeah?
Yeah.
You eat the stew, the yellow fat more better.
Sometimes they
More.
change the price because it costs more. That's
Yeah,
why. Yeah.
yeah.
But steaks with white fat is feedlot cattle. Steaks with yellow fat is grass-fed. Guarantee, no if and but about it. And the grass-fed is more ono. Somehow it's more ono. Like you said, the stew meat, better if it's yellow kind of stew meat. Lau lau, they like make lau laus with stew meat with bone inside. If you can make pot stew, you know the regular pot stew, boneless is the best. That's what they say, but anyway, you make it the way how you want. We used to, way back then again, like I said, The ranch used to slaughter every week. Every week, we get, if you get a big family, you can get 10 or 15 pounds of steak, hamburger, stew meat, all mixed up kind. They make so much. You can get 15 or 20 pounds if you get a big family. You pay only 25 cents a pound.
Shut the front door.
Every
That's
week.
way back when.
That,
Wait, not now?
no.
How do I get in on that?
That was way back when, every week. So my family grew up on meat and rice every week. Real cheap was. And then if you work in a slaughterhouse, you know the inside. I don't know if you guys know the tripe and all that. Now the sweet bread and all that, we can get that free from the slaughterhouse. The liver and all that, ake, you can get that all free way back when we used to work there. And then as time went on and on and on, every 2 weeks they kill cow. So we get house meat every 2 weeks. Then big family again get the amount 20 or 25 pounds. Small family, only husband and wife, you only get about 8 or 10 pounds. But that was every week, then came every 2 weeks. Now it's about what, Wendell, every 3 months or sometimes every 6 months now. Because they sell them all.
So how much you pay now?
Well, we get like half a beef. You pay, and the slaughtering costs a lot. So
I just
runs
said go.
about $400 for half a beef, though.
I just said go pick up my house meat last week or the other week was. I had 3 boxes. I don't know what was the weight, but had all kind of cuts from Decoy Slaughterhouse. I had to pay $160 for 3 boxes.
Yeah, that was quarter of a beef.
And one of my boys, my second boy, Charlie, he had raised his own cattle. He lives in Mākena. He raised his cattle in Haiku. He told me, by golly, I think I'm going to give up my cattle. I said, why? I took my steer for slaughterhouse for kill and slaughter in $900. So I said, yeah, if I was you, go to Costco and go buy meat now. It's so expensive. But now, for slaughtering and slicing them all up, all kind of cuts, the slaughtering and the cut cost him $900 something. But again, they go by weight. So I don't know how big his steer was, but it's getting to be ridiculous nowadays. It's better for you to slaughter them at home if you have if you know what you're doing, you can slaughter them at home. That's what some of our family and friends do. But you gotta get a slicing machine if you want to make it all kind of cuts and all that. So everything changed, all kind of stuff changed, and money is involved. Everything is with money nowadays. But back then, how they survived, those old folks, I don't know how they survived, but they did though.
So did the old timers ever talk about like a lot of trade meat for fish, like with uncle and my mom's ohana or the ono ohana? Was there that going on?
You know, I used to go with Uncle Willie Austin, go surround the akuli. After he would get the akuli, he would call the family. Okay, come, we're going to get mahele. But they would come down with meat. They would bring meat from up country. And they come give Uncle Willie their meat, trade off for the fish. Yeah? Some guys from Kihei bring ice and poi.
I used to do that too.
Yeah.
I used to go with Willie Olsen's boy, Oli.
Yeah.
Go walk along, go surround the net. He call up the ranch, or he tell me, call the boys down, and they bring meat. They change, meat, fish, or they bring something
trade
down.
off.
Vegetables or something.
Vegetables.
Yeah, up country.
The guys out in Kanayo and the guys down in Mākena side, the old days, the old Hawaiians, they bring down potato, sweet potato, and the guys from down give them fish, exchange fish. That's what they say, so.
So interesting.
Exchange.
Just the different, so Kihei would bring ice and
Poi and stuff, yeah.
and ran up country would bring
Meat.
vegetables and
Meat,
meat,
yeah.
and the folks from Iowa side would bring sweet potato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
It's
cool.
whatever they had, yeah?
Yeah.
With sauces. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. And everybody would everybody participate with the surround them,
Yeah.
all the families from everywhere?
Yeah, Uncle Willie used to
Most
wait.
of the time,
he would
yeah.
wait over there till the guys come. Then we bring them up. The same boat that we use for raw. Throw all the fish inside the boat. Then everybody come with their pakini, yeah? Fill up their pakini or coolers or whatever. And then the guys go.
How do we make that happen?
Got to get back that beach over there.
Hawaii.
Kawi?
Oh,
Yeah.
she told us there's a big Hawaiian footprint of black rock
Uh,
someplace below Hula.
Hawaiian homes, yeah?
Oh, I don't know exactly where. That's what I was going to ask you guys. Do you guys know where that is?
get two, one in Kula and one in Ulpalkua. You know where the intersection? You pass the ranch and then one going up Kanaya Road and then one go down there. Right there by the intersection. If it's right on the side of the road, only but from here till the ice chest. There's one stone over there.
Pukanaka, eh?
It's shape of one man head and the body, no more the legs. Shape perfect. The lover been catch the man over there. The lover been chase the lady down to
Kinuyu.
Kanahena. You know where the rubbish pile? Yeah. The old rubbish pile. If you go down that bay, get on small sand beach over there. Right in the water in that small sand bay, the lover been catch the lady over there. So get her stone, same like the man's one over there in the water. And then if you're going over towards Kaupo, you know where Luolailua, the two hill, on the side of the big hill. Above the hill over there in the ranch place, they say one big Hawaiian was running away from the lava, but he had to step on the lava and get the footprints over there, get two footprints, big feet, two real footprints. The guy had run over the hill, and I really don't know what happened, but the old Hawaiians been showing me the footprints. But Old Palco have only the man, down here get only the lady, and the footprints is over there by that hill.
Get one in the kind of, the one he's talking, Kawi. That's up in Kula by Hawaiian homes, the Red Hill.
That one, I heard about it, but I never seen him.
That one I'm going to show Uncle Danny.
Oh,
When
Danny.
he was going through the place. I'm
Hawaii.
going to show him. That one get two big ones and one baby one.
Oh.
In one riverbed though. But plain, when you look at them, you can see them.
Yeah,
So,
you know why it's strange though? Over there, no more lava flow. Right?
it's in the riverbed, that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got to be way back then. Because over there all get red dirt, yeah?
That, your brother will show me, Henry.
Yeah.
He will show.
I never see
So we don't go
that.
disrupt with the track there when we go work over there. But yeah, that's not what she was talking about.
The old Hawaiians, I guess, like after them, they know. The old folks used to say, when anytime you see one old ruined house where the Hawaiians used to live, and get something over there, maybe one stone or one fancy pounder stone or something, you gotta watch out, no take them home. I know plenty of howlies been find some along beaches and all that. They went home, wherever they came from, they had to send them back again. I'm sure you guys been hear about all that too. Yeah, we never detect stuff from, like I said, I took the brand and all that, but I don't know if you guys know this old Hawaiian man, Bill Waikolani. He used to live up the ranch before. He told me, you can take that stuff home, but you gotta malama pono, you gotta take care, no just hana inoe. You know, so, but stones I never did take, but I heard guys used to take stones, and then after a while they gotta send them back, because kind of sacred there.
Even the stone walls, we know when we operate machinery, we stay away from the stone walls, just for respect. So far, I've been working pretty good. No more pilikia.
Yeah, good. You know, that boy from Hana been get some, yeah? Leroy or Lester? He been get sick, yeah? He been go with the tractor.
Yeah, Lester.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. You know, can push all kinds of stone walls away and broke them all down and throw away and all that. And again, the old guys used to say, when they get paid, they don't go to the bank. They put the money inside a kind of old cracker can, and they used to hide them in a stone wall. I heard some stories, but I don't know if it's true, but out in Hanayo, get one place, it's still there yet, their family are still in that area, plenty of the young generation. This old man named Kanepaha, he used to live out there. And Jim Hapukuka used to say that old man had plenty of money. He used to hide them in a stone wall. So some guys used to like go over there, go broke the stone walls, but I don't know if they did, but most Hawaiians no go bank, and then they used to hide them at home. If you see a double wall house, which you hardly see, old kind double wall house, sometimes they hide them inside there. They put sheet metal on both sides, and as they bank, they put the money in there. Again, I heard about it, but I never did see.
Enjoy 4 times. I mean, I know riding on horseback is good fun. But some of those things that you guys had in this area, you guys have any particular memories?
You know, being up at the ranch, you know, just every day you get up, no more traffic for fight. You're going to a different place every day, you know, so clean, and no more gas mileage and all that, you know. Oh, that's one of the highlights. I know I could work there, no worry. Nice area over here. Simple for get there, no more hassle, no more road rage. I know, like you said the other day, the road was closed, yeah? Yeah.
When you wake up early in the morning, sometimes we start at 5 o'clock. It's still dark yet. You gotta catch your horse from the ranch, saddle your horse, put your lunch can, tie him in a bag, tie him on a saddle. You gotta ride your horse from Ulupalkua down till here. By the time you reach down here, your okole is sore. You eat lunch, it's almost time for eat lunch because it's a far ride. Then you gotta turn around after lunch, drive the cattle back up. When you reach home, boy, that's some going, you know. Tired, the okole is sore, your body is sore. You try to do that day in and day out, not only over here, but all over the ranch. Being a cowboy is good, but it's not that easy at times.
When it first started, oh, I like that. That was our dream, yeah? Ride horse. Then we gotta go every day. The old timers would be waiting. They stay all ready for going. We just settling up. We go drink that night, so late start. It wasn't that much fun after a while. But, you know, it was good. But I remember Uncle Andrew, Uncle Merton, they all habut waiting for us. They all ready to go.
To us now.
Yeah.
It was good fun. Everybody had his days. You know, some days was good and some days was bad. You get to work some days late, no can help you, you know. Everybody had to go through that. But the old timers, they was always on time.
Yeah.
When they say we leave the stable at 6:30, it doesn't mean that you gotta get to the stable to catch your horse at 6:30. It means you gotta get out of the gate and ride in your horse out at 6:30. But
Yeah.
it was fun, good fun.
I want to to return to that phrase, you gotta go catch your horse. So you literally have to go and like wrangle your horse in the morning to get it?
We have one guy, every week we take chance. Like if get 5 of us, for example, every week, if I go this week, my job is to bring in the horses. I gotta either ride my horse or then after that you go ride your Honda, go drive the horses in one big area. Before we start work, it's my job to bring in the horses all into a pen down at the stables. Then when the boys come to work, they go catch the horse in the pen, whichever
They get
one
on
they want.
pen, yeah? Like this pen over here.
So the
would be
horses
same.
are already in the
Yeah.
pen. And then you go pick which horse you want. Each cowboy usually have about 6 or 7 horses. And then you, wherever you go in, you know which horse is good for this area, or that area get plenty stones, so you know which horse is good for stone area. So you pick your horse, the one that you want for the day.
So you pick your 4-wheel drive, like which 4-wheel drive horse?
You
Yeah.
pick your horse and then you saddle up. Like we start work, for example, at 7 o'clock. The wrangler goes bring in the horses. By 6:30, the horses are already in the pen. So you only go pick the horse you like and go saddle up. Everybody have their own stalls, your own stable room where you keep all your saddles.
So did you work with both ATV and horse? Do you have a favorite? Do you prefer one over the other?
Like if you go and bring in the horses, the ATV would be the easiest way to bring them down. Other than that, back then when Merton them, they had to go with another horse that they kept in the stable. And they go early in the morning bring in the horses, yeah? So the ATV would have been better. And then I guess if you go far drives like Kekiwi like that, you would have to take more than one horse. You take maybe 2, 3 horses you lead. That way you reach one point, you jump on the other one, leave that one tied up, rest, and you go do your drive, come back, change horse again. That's why it was so long. With the ATV, that far ones, you can go with the quad, yeah?
Oh, okay.
And then you can just bring them down to the pen. Then you jump on your horse and you go sort. That's where the ATV works better. You know, but you don't make a lot of good horses by riding ATV.
Right.
you lose one part of the deal, yeah?
Yeah. Because I used to, when Bill Evie was still with
Yeah.
us, we used to talk story, go lunch talk story, and he would always be like, these young timers, they only like use the ATV. And he refused to let ATVs
Yeah.
with his,
Oh yeah, he
when
was old school.
pulling cattle or driving cattle.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have.
And he only
feel the
wanted
same way.
buckskins too, if you remember.
Yeah.
His horses was all
Yeah.
buckskins.
He was quite a guy.
Uncle Bill.
But yeah, I don't know. Is that the same way with you folks? You like prefer like?
For us was a little younger one. Maybe Merton then was kind of.
How about you, Uncle?
I like both ways. The ATVs was good. After a while, much easier, and you can get things done more faster.
Traveling, yeah.
Back then, when we started, it was all horses. Everything was with horses. Oh, and when you get started on the ranch, they ask you, you better learn from the old timers how to train your own horse. So you got to learn how to train your own horse. You study with them slowly, what to do and how to ride them and all that. And when one cowboy or anybody tell you who work on a ranch, you know, I never did fall down from one horse. No believe that. No believe that. If you never fall down from a horse, you're not a cowboy. You just got started. Because everybody fall down every so often.
You know,
But-
being so early in the morning, you go work. That's one of the things you got to watch. The horses all tense and whatnot. If you could fall down, it's going to be that morning.
Most time.
Most time is in the morning, not midday or anything. It's going to be that morning. They got to warm up too, yeah, the horses, the animals. So you got to watch.
You put the saddle on a horse, you don't tie the girth too tight at first. You lunge them around with a rope, you lunge them around. They got to kind of loosen up for some horses. Then you make it more tight, then you lunge them around, then you jump on top. By then they stay warm up and already stay looser. If you just make them tight and you jump on top, oh, sometimes they don't like that. They balk.
main shifts that?
Right now,
Yeah.
our biggest problem, the fencing is all changing in cattle industry.
Okay.
We're all getting high fence now, 8 foot high, because of the deers, the axis deer. We made all these paddocks for remove cattle by just calling them. You open the gate, they come and go to the new paddock. But the deers jump right over the fence and they're in there before the cattle. So when the cattle come, aole, no more grass already. So the deers, we get a new fencing going on, all 8 foot high. All the ranches will be doing that soon. All the golf course had to do that, just to keep the deer off the golf course. So that's our biggest battle right now.
If you guys happen to pass Ulpalco Ranch, if you know where's my house, stop at my house and say hello and look at my yard. The banana trees are all down. They chop the banana trees all down. The tea leaves only get the stumps left. And my wife's garden is no more nothing over there. The yard is a mess. Doodle all over the yard from the deer. And on top of that, the pigs are helping the deer too. My yard get all echo marks from the deer and the pig. Till now. That's why I said, if you pass my house, stop by and come look. They're wrecking the place up. Almost every house at the ranch. Right behind the ranch store, the pigs dig right there, all digging all over the place. So they get one eradicating team up at the ranch now. They're doing their best, but deer, oh my God, all over.
That's our biggest change right now. The deer. And the pigs. But the deer more so. Yeah.
So, no goats up there. Goats are all in the or
The goats are between the ranch and here, get goats all over the place too. But they don't come up the ranch. Outside of the ranch, yeah. But the goats usually hang in the place, plenty up, stony area. You get plenty of goats, but they don't do that much like the deer. You don't believe guys hitting deer on Ulpalco Road with a car. Every time get deer on the road, pigs on the road. So much. How they gonna get rid of all that, I really don't know.
one thing that you would bring back, like from all your time in ranching and being cowboy, like, is there one thing that you miss the most?
Riding horse, be a real cowboy instead of riding Hondas and four-wheelers and helicopter driving cattle. That's not cowboy job. To me, you cannot beat the old timers, the old cowboy way. I still would like saddle up the horse and go riding all day and do the same things that I used to do when I first got started, instead of going on one Honda now and go chase cattle. It's okay, it's faster. You can get things more done in one day's time, but if you're going to be a cowboy, you cannot be the old days. They had it down.
Before we go drive, like, you go on trail, after you learn that trail, then you're going to learn the voice of the next cowboy, or his words that he used, like hoi hoi or ha or whatever. Yeah? Then you know where he at, what's happening, if he's still getting in trouble, or he just walking down the trail, more nothing. You can tell just by whatever voice they use or sounds or whatever. Yeah?
So the first one you said, hoi hoi, what is?
That means you're right behind one little herd. Hoi hoi, hoi hoi, keep on going,
Make noise so they all go.
Then hey, the guy get some cattle with him over there. If he just riding down the trail, which means no more nothing. He just looking. If you make little bit noise, the cow will look, come out of the panini or the bushes. Then you look, okay, you get cattle. Hoi hoi, hoi hoi. Now you know. You learn.
And then the other one you said, ha, what is that?
That means you're going the wrong way. There's some other words too you can use.
Maybe good for keiki ears.
Ele mamua, ele mape, you know.
And then if you don't hear the other guy, he might be eating his lunch early, you know. You don't know.
Yeah. That's why, like our mother said, you got to learn Hawaiian because they talking in Hawaiian to the PP too. Hele mamua.
Yeah.
Hele mape.
Those Hawaiians, they all
yeah.
talk in Hawaiian.
So if you know what he's talking about, you know where the cattle going. So you got to learn all that too. Like
I
you said,
still
you
like
noise,
my
they
horse.
eating something though. Maybe a canned Vienna sausage or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You learn fast though.
Yeah.
You learn fast.
And I think that's something instrumental that you guys have been doing. Like learn Hawaiian because you have to keep up with the Hawaiians.
That's right.
And I know from how we refer to pastures, we don't refer them to like, oh, go over to two.
Yeah.
Your name.
The
And
name
you
for
guys
the
are
place.
using is it the place name? Like
Yeah, you
the
try to
Hawaiian
use
name for the place.
The place name.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You guys know some of those? Some
Yeah,
of
like
those names?
Paipu, you know, Kanaena, then you, Au, like he was talking. That's all places. But then when they make paddocks in there, now they put numbers, you know, Mauka, Makai, or 1, 2, and 3, you know. That's where the thing changes from, before it was big paddocks. Now we're cutting up all the paddocks, so easier to move the cattle. You just go over there, you call, hoi, hoi, and then open the gate. The cows come. You don't need horses and whatnot now. The only time hard is when they get small calves. The cows run, go to the paddock, they leave their calves behind. Calves spend half their time sleeping, 50%, you know, sleeping. So they run for the new paddock. It's like opening on bag feed. Cows go in there about 1, 2 hours later, hey, the cow tight the bag. Now she like go back to look for the calf. So you gotta leave the gate open. That's the only time one problem. After the calves get older, then they follow.
Like a lot of the names that I learned was from you. Like Papaka and all knowing those. Do you think all of those, do you think your guys' field has helped to preserve or, you know, continue
We tried,
to
they
use
tried,
the names?
they tried, but Papaka is so big, we get 1, 2, and 3, yeah?
Yeah.
Then we learn from Merton.
From the beginning
Yeah.
of the ranch on the far side, get from 1 to 5. But Willie Olsen's place up in La Perouse above,
That's all Papaka.
that's all the same area. Papaka 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like I said, when we drive the cattle back home, from 5 we open the gate to 4. We shut the water off, so they gotta go in 4 for drink the water. When they go out to the gate, we shut the gate. Then they move up 1 step, next step, next step. So when we go drive them home, they are all way up and in 1, so
Closer
more
to the
easier to
home.
go home. Because you cannot go with the cattle from down here to home. They'll never reach home the same day. It's too hot. They get all overheated. They go all foam come out of the mouth. They're going to stay one place. So you got to go by stages. Go slow, slow, slow.
The further down you come, the earlier you gotta come. Like Mākena, because hot, fast.
That makes so much. So now when people refer to, oh, I come from over by Papaka 4, they're referring probably then to the paddock or the area. So like the numbering system, Papaka 1, 2, 3, and 4 has kind of made its way into kind of like everyday.
The sections there, like
Yeah.
Division, yeah.
And
But
that
the
was
whole
bigger
thing
one.
you're saying
The whole
is
thing is Papaka.
Papaka.
Yeah. But you gotta break them down. You gotta raise the whole thing, yeah.
What about between here and like the Upakua? Are there
Kinapunis.
names?
Kinapuni.
Kinapuni.
Yeah. The Kinapunis over there. Lapakawaya. What else was there? Au, no.
From Halakla Ranch, boundary.
Yeah. Okay.
From there into Ulpalco get the names from all the area. Just the other day I had to go in the office and check because some of the places now they changed the names.
Okay.
So they gave me a map. The new manager gave me a map. I was looking at that map. I said, oh, Keo Kapo, now it's 670.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They took over that place already now. So from Harakra Ranch over used to be one place they call Wahine Pilau. Whatever, how they call that name, Wahine Pilau, I don't know, but that was the name when I started with the old guys. And then came Cowboy couple. Now it's Maui Meadows because changed the name. And then came over Lapaquaya. That's next to this area. Lapaquaya, then they get Kanapuni. That's what he was talking about. From the beginning of the ranch below the highway, get Kanapuni 1, Kanapuni 2, and this area is Kanapuni 3. I really don't know if they changed this name because I'm out now for about almost 20 years. And then from here go over, get Ahuhu, get Mawai, get Sang Kolapa, Kauai 1 and 2. Moreover, get Papaka, and that's the end.
Yeah.
After the lava flow on the other side is Make, M-A-K-E-E. They say down at the beach in that area used to be a big Hawaiian settlement place where they had a lot of grass shacks and all that. The stone walls are still there, and a lot of graveyards are still there yet. They make them all out of stone. You can see all the graves way down in the stones. You cannot get to there. You have to walk inside and go look, at them. So each area had all their names. Had a family right below my house, right below. It's called Hapakuka. It's one small little area. Ashford is in that same area, but right below that is called Hapakuka. Below Hapakuka is called Kauai 1, Kauai 2. The name of the family who used to live there. And Willie Kauai was one of the family. I don't know if his dad or his grandpa them used to live there. And Willie Kauai had his son, Andrew. So when we drive over there, we used to make fun of Andrew. Hey, you gotta go drive this cattle out. That's your place, but you better go drive out your cattle. But they used to name some areas after the family who used to live in there. Not all, but plenty of them. And above the road, it's different. Before, above the road, it's not open like that. It used to be all trees, lantana, pomakane. What the ranch used to do, the Baldwins used to get Japanese farmers. They used to give them a few acres. You go clean that area, you can farm there. So they get areas up there like now, Cornland 1, Cornland 2, and Cornland 3. They used to go clean all the lantanas and they farm, they plant corn. And then all the farmers get together, they build one little cement house, one warehouse where they store all the corn. And it's still there at the foundation, but they call that Cornland 1, Cornland 2, and Cornland 3. Above of that is to call Waiho. That's where you get all the springs, the water springs. The springs are still there. They're still using some springs there, Wendell.
Yeah.
They had Waiho Springs, Waikane, Waika'alo, and they get the one up in Polipoli, yeah?
Cornwall.
And Waiho Cornwell. So the springs are still there. Way back then, the springs used to come to the ranch, the water. They used to bring the water line all the way down to the ranch. If you remember, in Ulpalco Ranch, had 2 reservoirs, right where the winery is now, but they had backfilled all the old thing. The water from up at the springs used to come down into that over there. And that again was way back then. Numa Road, they used to ride horse, go up, go check all the water lines. That's why I say, to me, I would rather ride horse every day instead of go ride quads. And I still like those old days, are really good times. Inside here, mostly the ranch, they had lantana, panini. How can you ride a horse through that? Going to poke your leg, right? The Hawaiians used to use a thing they call leggings. They strap them to your feet, buckle up over here, come high up over here, hard leather. When you ride through the Hanini heat or the lantana, no sore, because they put that, they call that leggings. After that, it became chaps. You use chaps, thick leather chaps, so you don't get poke and all that. Nowadays, they get one chap they call chinks, only come till here. That's only for fancy there. But no can go inside this kind of thick area, but no more that much thick kind spots nowadays. So, but back then, every cowboy had leggings. And they go through panini, they go through the lantana, you don't get poke. I don't know if you folks know Tutu Jack Aweloa. He used to make that. Manta Isobe, Jim Hapukuko, they used to make that. It's not easy to make. They get one rod, they poke down the center, they to turn the rod, lock all those things up, no can fall down. They were really Akamai smart.
Does anybody still have those? Can anybody?
Wendell get one pair.
I kind of cheat. I use, the umpire, the catcher's one. That's, the catcher's one. Kind of works good too.
Yeah.
Good on the core too. When you ride through the core, hit you on the leg and he slide off. Yeah. But the panini, he works on that. And plus, easier maintenance. The one you're talking about, you gotta oil them and you gotta take care. With power work, you just throw them away, and you don't get them to the next time. Sometimes stiff.
But now not too much rough area, so you really don't need that. But some guys, they still have it too. Yeah.
Honuaʻula Ranch still get plenty paninis.
Nowadays over here, no more too much.
No more too much.
Lantana too, no more too much.
So, Wendell just said, Wendell, you just named Honuaʻula Ranch?
Honuaʻula Ranch. Yeah. I used to work on that ranch too before, so that's where Merton's father name,
That is owned by the Rice family.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still named the same,
Yeah.
but everybody think it's Rice Ranch. Well, the Rice family own them, not. But the name is the same. That's the whole area of that place.
Wendell, you got a great story of when you used to work that ranch regarding glycine.
Oh,
You wanna
yeah.
tell us about glycine?
Yeah. Oski Rice brought that in because of the lantana that was growing down by Hawaiian homes or Red Hill side. The lantana was real tall, like this tent. So we always have to go with the dozer before we drive and cut roads so we can bring them out. Well, I guess he didn't find out about the glycine, so he brought that in. We planted them over there. For 5 years, we never used that paddock. He took down the lantana, but now he's looking for something else. It's a good feed, though. It's a good feed, but it is a pest.
And Atibani shares a story of how you guys never know what it really was.
Yeah.
And how was it planted?
Oh, we rode horse and just throw the seed, plant them out. And up there hardly rained, so we had to kind of do them when it was rainy season. We did
You
them.
would load up the seeds on
Yeah.
your saddlebags.
Yeah, saddlebags,
On
and
each
just
side.
ride, go, come back to the truck again.
Sonic in the wind.
Yeah. Like I said, it was all lantana, so when it does rain, then we'd come with the truck. We had, bags of them. And we'd ride inside the trails, throw them around. But it did establish, though. And in 5 years, though, it took down all the lantana. Then the cattle would come and eat. And, because the lantana is all dry underneath, you would break them all down. But now, they're looking for other trees for grow on. Hopefully, they take care of the wattles, at least. But it doesn't grow too high, though. That's what we're learning. It's only in this area, the lower areas, and maybe 3,000. After that, it doesn't go higher than that.
If you wanted to leave one memory or one thing that you want future generations to know, what would that be?
this beach right here is the most important thing. We can bring our grandkids now, because we was kids over here. If we can come back over here and get these same spots going and not be fenced off by hotels and their luxury, that'd be nice.
My grandkids ask me, hey, why don't we go ride horse and go down to Mākena? I said, we can, but where are we going? Oh, we go down at the beach. I said, I don't think you know. Why? Oh, someday I'll show you guys why. A couple months ago, I came down here to put flower on my wife's grave. We came down the road. I said, look, you going to ride horse over here? Go over there, the other beach, the big beach. We used to, my two oldest boys used to come down with me. I said, look now. He said, wow, man, they're taking over the whole beach. I said, that's what I mean. How can we ride horse over here now? Okay. Hey, the place we used to go fish, what? I said, worse. That's where they're staying. The hotels are still over there now. It's all changed. How, you were saying, I don't know how we're going to get it back, but
Preserve.
you folks get any idea how we can get rid of them? Not get rid, but move them away and give some space for the old folks to stay here. I don't know how. It's sad though. I would like to say something. If Angus, Leslie, Moggy, Bobby Luai, all the same gang we used to hang around was still around, maybe we could get rid of some of these guys their way. But it's not the right way here.